All right, all right, all right. Welcome back once again with the ill behavior. I'm Bill. This is the Chill with Bill show, and we gonna get into it. Kendra G show. This woman will only date men who make over 300K, and she has to be more important to you than your own children or your mama. The delusion is real with this one, who happens to be from hometown Seattle. Let's get right into it.
Hi,
Hi, what's your name?
my name is Ella.
Ella, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. How old are you?
I'm 40.
40. Good. What do you do for a living?
I am a vlogger,
Why was you hesitant to tell me that?
because it's private.
I'm trying not to interject too much in all this, but I just need to translate something the woman needs right here. Private blogger that she doesn't want to promote. It's private, right? So that's OnlyFans. Okay, she's doing OnlyFans, and she don't want to say it on live TV, and that's fine. Okay, just keep it a buck.
So you don't want people to know?
Well, it's incognito, so my vlog, it's like you can't tell that it's me.
Look, ladies, just because you put Princess Kitty Face Boo Boo Platter or whatever for your name does not mean that people are not going to know in the future that that was you, okay? The AI is coming. It's very real. They're going to be able to scour the entire internet and find your oath face, right? And compare that with your job app face, okay? Like, it's coming. It's coming. And y'all are just, you're tripping if you think otherwise. It's coming.
Intentionally.
Okay. So that's what you do for a living, though?
Yes.
Oh, so you don't want to tell us more about it because you want to keep your anonymous.
Exactly.
Because she does
Okay.
OnlyFans.
Ella, you said Seattle, Washington?
Yes.
Seattle, Washington. 40, you have any kids?
I have two.
2 kids. How old are your children?
23 and one will be 18 on Christmas.
Okay. Same man?
No.
No. Have you ever been married?
Yes.
Okay. When did you get divorced?
September 15th. It was finalized.
Oh, this year?
Yes.
You just got divorced like a month ago.
I've been waiting to get on the show. You said gotta be single, so hurried up and got.
She been waiting to get on the show, yo. Gotta be single, right? Been separated for 3 years. Just got divorced 2 months ago or whatever, 3 months ago. Man, come on.
That.
Oh, you already ready, girl. You've been divorced for a month and said it's time for the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I've actually been dating. We've been separated for over 3 years.
Okay.
About 4 years.
We're nosy. You don't have to answer, but do you want to share why you got divorced?
It was an abusive relationship, and then he turned into a meth addict, and I mean, it wasn't his. I don't believe that it was his fault that he turned into a meth addict. He was trying to self-soothe, I guess, because our daughter died, and he couldn't do.
Because your daughter died?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear what happened to your daughter.
She was run over by the electric company and then overdosed at the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
This is a whole lot right here. Shout out to the family. You know, it's terrible to lose a child. No parent should ever have to know what that feels like. That being said, everything else this woman just said, oh my goodness. All right, I don't know about y'all, but look, I'm from Washington, and yes, unfortunately, out here for a long time now, it's been we big opioid problem, right? Prescription pill problem, right? Big meth problem, H-Ron, all that good. You know what I mean? Like it's an issue out here. Okay, it's been that way since before I was here, and while I was a kid, right? But what I will say from being raised out here is that this is not something that usually happens overnight. On occasion, On occasion, sure, it can happen, but usually there are signs. There's a progression. A lot of times people start with pills, and then they go from there, or alcohol or whatever, and then the next thing, and it snowballs, right? It sucks. It sucks when that happens to somebody you love too. And who knows what this person could be going through with all the the stuff that has happened. It sucks. It sounds like she pulled the trigger and said, I'm out, right? Who knows? Who knows why? We'll just take it at face value.
So you had 3 children initially?
Correct.
Okay, sorry to hear that. And then the death of your child just kind of took you guys apart?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about when parents deal with the passing of a child, it's hard for them to stay married together. That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. So this is Ella. When's your birthday or zodiac sign?
November 25th, and I'm a Sagittarius.
Is it just me, or she got like a really... I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying, like, maybe it's the way her hair is, but she got a really big forehead, right? Is that just me?
Sagittarius. All right, so this is Ella.
It might be
Seattle,
the shadow
Washington.
of the hair.
She's 40.
Right,
she's a blogger. 2 children. She's a Sagittarius. Was once married. What kind of man you looking for, honey?
Okay, I got a long list.
You have a long list.
Long list. I wrote it down. So he must believe in higher power. He doesn't have to be like Christian or anything, but he definitely has to believe in a higher power. He can't be an atheist. So it must be spiritual. He needs to enjoy outdoor activities. He must be calm, dominant, respectful, financially secure, loyal, responsible, honest, kind, authentic, thoughtful, a good communicator, athletic, health conscious, tall. I'm not finished. Affectionate, emotionally available. He must be a gentleman, hygienic, has nice teeth, well-dressed, old-fashioned, patient, dressed sophisticatedly, not skinny. If he is under 40, he must be above 6 feet tall. And if he is over 40, he must be above 5'9".
Okay, explain to me the age requirements based on height.
Because so I'm 40 years old, and I do sometimes date guys that are like, guys try to date me that are like in their 20s and sometimes 30s. And I noticed that it's easier for me to date a guy that is over 30 if he is taller.
I'm gonna leave. I mean, okay, so I counted somewhere around 28, 29 different attributes. The first 3 were basically the same thing. She was like God-fearing, spiritual, Christian. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? They were all kind of the same thing, dealing with religion, right? And then she goes through her build a man process, right? It's like she's at Subway. Let me get the turkey and then some bacon and then some provolone. I mean, come on, man. Did you just sit in front of the dictionary and just pick out every positive word you could find and then just say, I mean, like, who could ever live up to this? Like, the best men in the world still, falter from time to time, right? And we all need help from time to time, but this is just oh man. And then on top of that, she gonna get into the height thing. So she says, if you are under 40, you must be over 6 feet tall. But if you're over 40, then you can be a little bit shorter, right? 5'9". So what I hear is that because if you're under 40, maybe you're not as situated. I don't mature, probably like maybe financial. I don't know, you know what I mean? But because of that, you must be 6 feet tall. But she's willing to negotiate on the height. Older you are, and that's probably because over 40, you're going to come with a little bit more positives in these other attributes, right? It's interesting.
because I don't know. I guess I equate that to him being like more of a man. If he's, I don't know. It's kind of an issue of mine, but I have it. So.
And then if he's older, he could be shorter.
Yeah, but he still has to be above 5'9".
Oh, okay. Are all these non-negotiable requirements on your list?
Majority of them are, yes.
What's negotiable?
What's negotiable? If he has facial hair.
That wasn't even on the list, ma'am. Ma'am, you just added that. That's number 30 or 29, whatever. So that's negotiable now. She's negotiating with things that are not on the table. That's like, okay, I'm bringing this and this and this and this to the negotiation. You put it on the table, and then your other opponent puts their stuff on the table and says, okay, what you willing to negotiate? Well, I got this other thing in my bag. Silly.
Which I didn't even say that. I love facial hair. I also like dark skinned guys. So that is negotiable.
She's adding on more attributes. Like, she's not negotiating. She said, okay, what's negotiable? So I also like hair on their face, and I also like them to be even more dark skinned. Like, you just added on more things that you prefer. They might not be as strong, but you prefer them. That's not what a negotiation is. Negotiating is saying, okay, out of the things that I just listed, while I am okay, for instance, maybe if he's not that spiritual, okay, that's fine. You know, maybe if he is, you know, he doesn't necessarily like to go outside. You know, he's not an outdoorsy guy. He'll go out, but he's not into sports. You know what I mean? That's cool. Like, that's what a negotiation is, ma'am.
I date all nationalities, so but I do prefer a black man, so that's negotiable. However, he can't be like super white, and by super white, I mean like culturally as well as.
Sorry, my pasties. Apparently, you out. Look, hop in the gym and get a tan. You'll be all right.
His appearance, like he has to be under 10, so I can't have like an Irish dude that's just like hella pale.
Like, she don't really know what she wants. She's just labeling off every single positive thing that she can find, and she's like cutting da-da-da. She's never had this before because, you know, this dude doesn't exist, right?
No, thank you. Yeah, so that, yeah.
He has to be, I think you mentioned athletic, so he has to be athletic.
Yes, and
I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Kevin Samuels. Somebody said you don't get better than your baby daddy. It must have been Kevin Samuels, because I can picture him sitting in the chair saying this. Why didn't you marry your baby daddy? You don't get better than your baby daddy, right? So if her baby daddy is a tweaker, that's what we call meth addicts here in Washington. We call them tweakers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If he's a tweaker, ma'am, it's not looking good for you.
So that's with age range too. So I like guys that are bigger. He can't be skinny. So skinny is definitely a non-negotiable.
Because it reminds her. So if you don't know anything about nobody that does meth, right? Cats that do meth, especially for long periods of time, they don't eat, right? It makes you not hungry, and on top of that, it makes you stay up for days and days and days, right? So these people, like, their faces get all shrunk in, they get all sucked in like one of the aliens from Signs or something, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it looks like. It's pretty bananas when you think about it, you know what I mean? Like, that happens. And so obviously I'm assuming she's probably a chubby chaser, but I just think it's funny when she's like, he can't be skinny, right? Like, her dude probably lost a bunch of weight if he really was a meth head.
Like, I can't do a really skinny guy. That is for another reason. But yeah, I don't like really skinny guys. So, and I think that has to do with, like, he seems like not really a grown man if he's really skinny. That too. So, yeah. Can't be
What's
so skinny.
now? What are your deal breakers? I'm assuming you wrote that down.
I did. Okay, so one deal breaker that I have is that I do not want to date a guy that treats women that he's newly dating based off of his previous relationships. So I've dated guys that are like, oh, I used to give, girlfriends a credit card when they go out of town or something. And then you're like, you're going out of town, where's my credit card? And he's like, oh, I don't do that anymore because like the last chick kept my credit card when we broke up and she was like booking hotels or something,
You silly. This is a very specific situation, and this is just showing your whole self on the internet right now, sweetie. And I'm sorry for you, but whatever. So this is what probably happened. What probably happened was, dude that she's talking about right now was trying to connect with her, talking to her about past relationships that he had, and maybe say, yeah, this one girl, we were doing so good and this and that and whoop-de-whoop. And so when I went out of town, I was just like, here's a credit card, that way you could take care of a couple little things here and there, as you need to, whatever, I'll be back, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. And then when they split up, she was like, up in the club, swiping the card, popping bottles in the ice, you know what I mean? Doing that whole situation. He's like, dang, yo, this girl is tripping. I ain't never doing that again, right? And he probably told her this story like, yo, this girl was bugging. All she heard was this man gives his woman credit cards when he goes out of town. So where is mine? That's all she heard. She didn't hear nothing else, right? Because I'm sure my man he didn't lead with, oh, so if you become my girlfriend, I'm just going to give you a credit card so that way when I leave, you could just do. And then he did it. Or they got together and then she was like, where's my credit card? And he's like, like all that sounds terrible. If that's how you living, if that's who you live, like how you roll, man, like, man, you're just showing your whole self on the internet right now. Oh, you poor thing.
Stuff like that. I'm not okay with you telling me, things that, you do in the beginning of the relationship and then tell.
So he shouldn't tell you about his relationship. Oh, so what were your previous relationships like? They were cool. Like that's what he's supposed to do. They were cool. He ain't supposed to tell you about what was positive, what was negative, what affected him. Like, I mean, you got a whole other family. You got 2 kids. And again, I don't know if you explained if the 2 kids were even from the tweaker, right? I don't know what's going on there, right? I don't think so. For some reason, I feel like the math doesn't add up. But you got a whole other situation that he's going to have to deal with all the fallout from that, right? Not just the direct fallout from those people, but how they have impacted you, and that whole situation has impacted you and made you who you are now, right? You got to deal with all of that. All of that. You over here worried about a credit card? Like 40 years old, woman.
Tell me, oh, you're not going to do that for me because it went poorly in the relationship previously. That's not okay.
So nobody that's going to use his past experience to negate how he moves forward in his current experience?
Exactly.
Said that with a straight face. Exactly. I want somebody who's never had experience because experience shapes who we are today, right? In every fashion. You know what I mean? All the way from the playground, right? To the boardroom. You know what I mean? Like the things that happen to you, the people that you interact with, the way the outcomes, transpire, these are all things that determine how you think, process, and move forward in the future. So she ain't even making no sense right now. And again, you come in with hefty garbage cans full of baggage, right? That's where you got them big black yard waste trash bags full of yo baggage.
But don't we all do that though?
Yes, we do kind of. But like like I said, this guy literally did these things as a selling point. Like he's told all these things that he's done as like, this is why you should be with me. But then
He didn't come out and say the reason why you should be with me is because I'll give you a credit card when I leave and you can spend it on whatever. You heard the words credit card, leave, spend. You heard all that in this long story or whatever that he told you about previous experiences. And that's what you took from that. And you're going to say he was leading with, I mean, some guys lead with their wallets. They definitely do. But guys that lead with their wallets are not going to tell you about past experiences that they did. And that's going to be, they're going to be like, here's the credit card. Like, because they don't care, because the dough don't mean nothing. Silly.
and when it comes to like, okay, well, yay, we're in this relationship now. He's like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that because this happened in that relationship, and oh, I'm not
Okay,
doing
so
that.
I got it. So what's some other deal breakers?
I don't want a liar.
Before she even gets into that's another thing. How many things are you not willing to do for him anymore that you've done for other men? Right? I'm not going to get into it. We all know. What did you do? I mean, you got pregnant at 17, right? So what were you doing at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23? Right? What kind of, to try to get and keep the man that you wanted? What were you doing then that this dude will never see? Right? And I'm not just talking about in the bedroom. We could talk about the bedroom, but I'm not just talking about in the bedroom. I'm talking about your femininity, your energy, right? How much time, like patience, like all these things, right? There is a certain amount of currency that a woman has, and that currency can continue to be refilled, right? If she receives the things that she needs, she can expend the things that she has, right? But when you continually expended, when you expended things that you had, you didn't get what you need, and now you're tainted, and all these things are problems. How much do you have to give to him? I'm just saying.
I can't have a lazy guy. He has to be hygienic. Like I can't have him stinking, and not a cheater. So, and the thing is about it though, I'm not gonna say that this guy has to be extremely exclusive to me, but I definitely have to feel like I'm the most important person in your life.
So you're open to him having other women as long as you're the main girl?
No, I need to feel like I'm the most important person in your life. So if you can accomplish seeing other people while still making it so, I feel like I'm the most important person in your life, then yeah, how about it?
Most important person as in the females he's dating, or just overall?
Overall, the most important person in your life.
Over his, what if he has children?
Yeah, I would prefer him not to have children.
But you got two. You got two and a baby daddy, right? So you would prefer him. So this is going to be some 40-plus-year-old dude who has 30 attributes that you've named off, very specific ones, with no kids, who's going to put you above every other woman. Hold on.
Oh, what's the age range you want to date?
I'm gonna say 30 to up, as long as he can get up and walk and athletic.
But you have two kids, so he can't have kids?
If they're grown, like my.
She said as long as he can get up and walk and they're athletic.
Kids are grown.
Okay, your kids are grown. So if he has grown kids,
that's fine.
Okay, now back to my original question.
He still needs to make me feel like I'm the most important person in his life.
So you want to feel more important than his own children?
Yes.
Would he be more important than your children?
No. But I'm going to make him feel like he is.
Girl, now look. I'm going to allow you to speak and put out there in the universe, but that's a crazy as hell request.
Look at her face. Look at her face. It's like she don't even get it. She don't even understand how ridiculous what she just says sounds.
To say that a man needs to make you feel more important than the people he brought into this planet. And you just said yourself, he would not be more important than your children. Right. So you don't think that's kind of crazy to say, I need to be.
See, this is what you're not listening, because I didn't.
You're not listening. No, you just don't understand how crazy what you said sounds. Like what you said was he's got to make you feel like you're more important than his kids and his mama. Even if they're not, he's got to make you feel that way. And you just said you didn't want to cheat her, but he could do whatever. Like you're like all over the damn place right now.
Say I have to be more important. I said he needs to make me feel.
But
Like,
why?
I need to
Why do you have to
feel
feel
like-
more important than his own children?
I
What
just
about
I
his
don't-
mama? So you gotta
I
be more
just-
important. So you gotta be more important than his mama too.
I just don't want his mama or his children to be an issue in our relationship. That's what I mean by
He's
that.
just meeting you. This man, you about to meet him for the first time. Whenever
He got to deal with an ex-husband and the fact your kids are grown now. Like, well, at least one of them about to be out of the house. One's out the house, the other one's about to be out. So maybe he don't have to deal with that, but there's still, at least not directly, but it's not like he ain't gonna have to deal with that.
you meet him, these people been with him his whole entire life, and you need to jump the line before his mama and his kids as an importance in his life.
If we're in a relationship together, you separate yourself from your previous relationships, and we are one. And
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This woman.
that's
Who
what I
wants
want.
the divorce in your last relationship? You or your husband?
Of course she
I did.
did.
Why did you want a divorce?
I told you why.
Tell me again. Tell me
He became
again.
he was addicted to meth.
Oh, okay. He was on something.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, let's keep going, Ella Child. So, you said, tell me the age range one more time that you would date. You're 40,
30 and above.
30 and above. All right. So this is Ella, Seattle, Washington, 40, Sagittarius, a blogger. She's gonna keep that a secret. 2 grown children. All right. Does he have to look? You told me this week over. Does he have to look a certain way?
Yes, he has to be attractive and presentable and not skinny.
And not skinny. Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Yes. Over 6 figures.
Over 6 figures? That's a millionaire.
Well, over 6 figures. Okay, so this is a blanket statement. Let's just be clear. You can look by this woman's background. She don't know what over 6 figures is. Okay, but again, bold, got no problem coming out and saying this.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so are you saying he
Oh,
has
a
to be a
millionaire.
millionaire, or are you saying he has to be high 6 figures?
High 6 figures, yes.
So now it's high 6 figures. First it was over 6 figures, so 150K could have done. Then it was a millionaire. Now it's high 6 figures, right? So what, 800K is good? What are we talking about?
What's the lowest 6 figures you would date?
300,000?
300,000. So I'm assuming you normally date men in this category.
Yes.
No, she doesn't. She may have slept with some men who have this kind of money, maybe. Okay. She probably, again, is getting simped on by some dudes on her OnlyFans who got this kind of money, right? But nobody with this kind of money is taking her seriously, especially if she actually opens her mouth like this to them and tells them all this that she just said. They pulling the ripcord immediately. She could maybe be a chameleon. If she keeps her mouth shut and doesn't say anything like this, it's possible that she could maybe scheme somebody into this. But you know, how you gonna make it through an entire relationship without talking?
So what's going on with them?
I've had
They
it
don't
said before,
exist.
anyone.
They don't exist. They don't exist. They don't exist. Again, this guy that she's talking about, that she's made up in her head, he doesn't exist.
What's been the issues?
They are not meeting all my requirements.
Okay. So Ella, you're
Nobody can. And you the baby mama of a tweaker, apparently, like who has an OnlyFans that she won't even promote. That, like, what are we talking about right now? They don't meet your expectations? No, sweetheart. First of all, the man that you're talking about doesn't exist. But let's just take a couple of those attributes and shrink them down a little bit, okay? And put it into the realm of atmosphere. Even that guy is not checking for you. He's not checking for you. Because if he could have you, he could have somebody who is not you, right?
fine. Like if you don't find a guy to fit everything, you'll be okay with being by yourself. It sounds like.
Yes. I have so many vibrators.
Say again?
I have lots of toys.
You have lots of toys. Okay, so you're willing to either you get what you desire or you'll stick with your toys and find happiness that way.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair.
Again, absolutely. So what do you do when you're 65, right? So 25 years from now, when you still ain't got no man, your batteries are now, well, let's just say your toys are probably solar powered, right? Like, where you gonna be living? What you gonna be doing? You ain't gonna be dating, right? I mean, what are we talking about right now? And you're cool with that. You're cool with that. Because you think that you deserve some dude that fits these 30 different marks or whatever and makes $300K a year with no kids, who's going to put you first over his mom. Like,
all right, let's do the Kendra cam, baby. We got to see your full body.
yeah, we know she got a frame on her, right? Because she's an OnlyFans model. She can't be super.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you're thin.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ella, when was your last relationship? I know you just got a divorce, but you said you've been dating, right?
Yes. My last relationship was about I think it ended in March.
End of March. Okay. You don't have to answer, but when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
I am not going to answer that.
Yesterday.
Okay. They want me to ask you, so you wouldn't date anybody that made less than 300,000. So if a guy made 200K, Ella, are you still there? I'm not sure. She went away. Onyx Monopoly. Hey, Onyx. Onyx paid $200. So I'm going to read what Onyx says. I have learned is many of us will die alone, shallow. I met some amazing gentlemen, all shapes, sizes, ethnicities over the past few months, and I no longer care about height and weight. We can lose weight laying down. Height is irrelevant. An ugly heart, spirit, and soul is dead. Hey, Onyx Boo. Let me say this. This is why I always ask this question. If you don't get what you want, are you okay with being by yourself? And once you tell me you're okay, Ella's back. I think you're back. You back, Ella? What happened?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry.
What happened?
The screen was ringing.
Huh? Oh, your phone was ringing.
Yes.
Okay, so did you hear what Onyx said? Do you want me to read it again?
Oh, no, but yes, please read it again.
Okay, so Onyx says she paid $200 to make this remark. I have learned that many of us will die alone being shallow. I met some amazing gentlemen, all shapes, sizes, ethnicities over the past few months, and I no longer care about height and weight. We can lose weight lying down. Height is irrelevant. An ugly heart spirit is dead. Do you want to respond to that?
No, I agree 100%. I mean, to each his own.
Do you think you're shallow?
No.
Why not?
I think a lot of people want what they want, and when we figure out what we want, we should stick to it. We shouldn't lower our standards because we haven't found what we want yet. Just keep looking.
You didn't actually explain why you were shallow. You just gave your reasoning for wanting the things that you want. An explanation of why you would consider yourself not shallow would include the reasons for wanting the things that you want. And again, what do you offer that allows you to ask for this, right? A relationship is an even exchange, okay? It has to be. Otherwise, it's not going to function. In order for you to get something, you have to give something, right? And if you're not giving 300K vibes, like, how do you see this working? Just because you want what you want and we shouldn't settle for okay, so you'll settle for being alone or ran through because that's as far as it's going, like, and that's terrible. Like, why would you rather have that than somebody who actually like gives a damn about you? Why?
So what does lowering your standards mean? So like if he treated you well, but wasn't your height requirement, to you, that would be lowering your standards?
Well, it kind of depends on what it is my height requirement, because like if I'm allowing this guy to be in my life to treat me well, then obviously
if I'm allowing this guy to be in my life and treat me well. if you are allowing this guy to be in your life and treat you well, the sentence doesn't even make sense. Like when you just say it out your mouth, like you're allowing this guy in your life because he's treating you well, because he cares about you. You understand? Like, and because of that, you must reciprocate.
There must be something about him, so I wouldn't be lowering my standards because something about him made him not matter if he's in my life to treat me well. But
Okay. All right. So you have your right to your salary preference. But do you care to say why you wouldn't date a guy that made 200K?
well, it depends on where he lives. Like I live in Seattle and I travel to like Hawaii a lot, so in those places, 200K is like barely anything.
So when you got divorced, I'm assuming y'all were separated. Right?
All right, 200K. First of all, she don't live in Seattle. Like she might live around. Most people don't, they don't live in Seattle. There's some people that live in Seattle, obviously, right? But we've got the great migration going on. Everything's getting gentrified. Everybody's getting pushed out, right? And they're going further and further and further and further and further out. Okay, I used to live on First and Broad back in the day. Shout out. That is downtown. That is right smack dab 2 blocks away from the boardwalk, from where the pier starts. I think it's 15 blocks from Pike's Place Market or whatever, right? Maybe a little more. That's Seattle. Lived there, right there for, I don't remember how many months or whatever. Rent's expensive and it's loud. And yeah, it's an apartment and it came furnished with on top of a parking garage, right? Like there's a bunch of most people don't want to live in Seattle. It costs a lot, right? They move out into the outskirts. They go to Auburn, Kirkland, Renton, Federal Way, right? Tacoma or further. So I take that with a grain of salt, right? She's doing OnlyFans, you guys. Maybe she's clocking a check like that. Maybe.
Right? How long were y'all separated for?
We were separated for 3 years.
For 3 years. Okay.
Almost 4 actually.
I'm trying to think of our last question. You said your last relationship was March. Okay. So yeah, Ella, why do you think you're single?
Because I am super particular.
You know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you enjoy alone time.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and she needs that alone time to make her money. She's got to be able to do her, her vlogging, her private incognito vlogging.
I also enjoy being pursued, and I'm pursued a lot.
Okay, you're pursued a lot. So why don't you settle or not? I don't want to use the word settle. I hate that word. But if you're pursued a lot, why aren't those things leading to anything long term if that's what you desire?
Because you're pursued by dudes on your OnlyFans who want to pay you $4.99 for feet pics.
Because they're not what I desire. None of those people are what I desire.
So the people that you desire, are they trying to pursue you?
No, by definition, like you don't even have, Kendra, you know the answer, right? You just want her to say it. But by definition, if she's being pursued by a lot of people and the people that are pursuing her are not the people that she desires, then by extension, that means that the people that she desires is not pursuing her.
I haven't met any that I desire yet. Like I said, I have a long list.
Right.
And so once I get, you have to check off the list while you're dating people. You check off the qualities that they have. Like,
who taught you women this? Who taught you that this is how to move and that this leads to a fulfilling relationship that stands the test of time? What woman said this to her? What is it? Is it Sex in the City? Is it from TV? Y'all get this, right? I don't really watch those shows, so I don't know. Do the women just date and check off the list and check until Prince Charming just shows up? Is that how this works? Who told you guys that this works, that this leads to anything other than cats? and dog food.
I don't know how respectful this guy is when I meet him. I don't know how loyal he is when I meet him. I don't know how responsible or honest or kind or authentic he is when I first meet him. So it's going to actually take me to get to know this person, to know these things about him. So for the people who says that I'm shallow or whatever, I forgot what they said I was, but yeah, most of these things you actually, for him to be a good communicator, I actually have to communicate with him to know these things. So
okay. Listen, yeah. So listen, I already know how my page is and my followers. So there's 2 questions I want to ask you, and you might not even care to even answer these questions, but I would like to get your opinion. Salary. I feel like a lot of people are going to say that you don't deserve a man that makes that type of money, that type of man that makes 300,000 or more is not going to wife you up or settle down with you for whatever reason. Do you want to respond to that comment that will be said? I'm sure of it.
To me, that's just hilarious. For someone to say what I don't deserve, it's like, go fuck yourself.
See, sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and then the need to be right. Instead of self-reflecting on the fact that you are a 40-year-old woman with 2 grown-ass kids whose previous relationship ended up with your husband turning into a tweaker, right? And you do OnlyFans, probably. Like... You just triggered by what she said instead of actually understanding, like, okay, remember, it's a negotiation. He brings X amount to the table, which you have clearly laid out what he has to bring to the table. Boom, 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 boom. Right? So then you have to bring something of equal value, not lesser, equal value, right? In order for this matchup to work. Why would any dude want you? That's what she's saying. Why would any dude who meets all of these qualifications, why would he pick you over somebody else who doesn't come with all the baggage that you're coming with, who brings things to the relationship that you obviously, I mean, like, you haven't said anything about what you bring yet, anything at all. So we'll get into that. I'm sure.
Pretty much.
Okay. And then, another comment, I'm quite sure people are going to say that your list is unrealistic and there's too many things up there for you to find that person. Do you care to respond to that comment that will be said?
And again, she's not about to take any of this in and realize you've never seen this dude that meets this list that you have so-called, right? Like you've never bumped into him on the street. You've never seen him in a social circle. Like you've never seen what you're talking about. And so instead of taking what she's saying and saying, you know, that you probably just created this fictional character in your head, right? Like, instead of looking at that and going, okay, well, maybe these are a lot of things or whatever, your wall's gonna go up. You're gonna be hella defensive, and that's how you're gonna respond.
Whoever says that, they can go and settle for whatever, and that's why they probably end up with a trash person or be treated poorly in their relationship.
And again, like your sign language, right? You have no problem saying that they're going to end up with a trash person because they're being more realistic. But you just came out of a relationship with a meth head. Like, and again, you can't tell us what you do. So we assuming it's OnlyFans based off of what you said, right? Like, so what makes you not a trash person? Just the fact that you don't think so? Like, I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm saying like that background doesn't speak volumes for your character. So I'm just wondering how do you qualify for something that you can't even, you don't behave that way. You don't move like that.
I mean, the thing is, to each their own. If you want to settle for whatever's on your list, if you want to have 2 things on your list and go with whatever dude, just be a pick me, whatever. I'm not a pick me. I pick what I want.
No, you don't. You pick who you sleep with. That's the only option you have. You have the ability to go out and choose who you have sex with. You don't choose who you're in a relationship with. Men choose relationships, right? You can decide what men are in the running for choosing you by choosing who you have sex with. You have sex with these 10 guys. These 10 guys have the option of saying, you know what, I want to be in a relationship with her. And nobody outside of that gets to make that option. However, you are not the one who chooses the relationship. You don't set that tone. He does. He decides, okay, after you've given him whatever you're going to reel him in with, he gets to decide, yes, she's worth it, or no, she's not. And that's what I don't think you understand.
And if you're not what I want, then why would I waste my time? It's like, what?
So you feel as though your vibrator, a battery, is better than a human being that might not have everything on you?
No, I feel like.
Yes, you said that. You said if you're cool with not getting all of these things, and you said, I have my vibrators and that's fine. So instead of him making only 100K or 60K, right? Instead of him being 5'7" or not chubby, right? A little skinnier. Instead of him maybe not being funny or charismatic, but being loyal, right? Instead, like, that's called a negotiation. You gonna have toys.
My vibrator is better than a hostile guy that is too lax. He can't be a leader. He's irresponsible, unrespectful, unloyal, dishonest.
See, this just shows the guys that you pick. Remember, you choose who you have sex with. Men choose who they have relationships with. So you have chosen to have sex with guys like this, and then those were the bottom of the barrel that actually chose to be in a relationship with you, and then you experienced that, right? So just understand, you did choose that, and you continue to do so with your actions. Your words and your actions don't line up.
Unkind, inauthentic. I that's what I think my vibrator is. If he's not meeting most of these criteria, yes, I think my vibrator is way better than that. And I also have a cuddle pillow.
A cuddle pillow and a vibrator, and at 65 years old, good. Enjoy.
A cuddle pillow?
Pillow, yes.
But what if something, God forbid, what if something happens and you need a human being to help you with something? Do you think about that at times or no?
No, I do, but like, I just don't feel like,
because I mean, real quick, because when you bring up vibrator, you're pretty much demoting a man to a sexual activity. Like you're just kind of, well, let me finish. You're just kind of saying, either I'm gonna use my vibrator or I'm gonna get my list. But only thing that the vibrator can offer you is sexual pleasure. It can't be there when you have a bad day. It can't be there when you're sick. It can't be there if God forbid something happens to you and somebody got to make a phone call for someone to come caress you and make you feel better. So, it's like you're just comparing a male to the sexual activity opposed to everything else a man can bring into your world.
Right. But if the guy is disrespectful, if he is dishonest, a bad communicator, if he is unhealthy or inaffectionate or emotionally available, I mean, yes, I would prefer to have my vibrator. See, it's like these are things that I need. I don't want a stinky guy laying in a bed with me if he's unhygienic.
So to be clear, a man for you can only please you sexually?
No, that's why good communicator, it's not just pleasing me sexually. If he is kind and authentic and loyal, that's not just pleasing me sexually. But
you understand what I'm guess I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm saying, because you're saying either the list or a vibrator. You're not
right. So my point is, the things that are on my list aren't just things that help me sexually. But what I'm saying is, if these things that are on my list, if I can't get that, if I can't get these things, like these are very important things that I need. It's not like I'm asking for.
She understands what you're saying. You're continuing to say the same dumb thing. Okay. She gets it. She's saying these things on your list are important. And if you don't get these, then you can use your vibrator. Right. But what you're doing is you're basically saying if a man doesn't meet every one of these criteria, then he's not worth it. What if he meets 5 out of 6? What if he meets, well, you ain't got 6, you got 30. What if he meets 25 out of 30? Right? He's still not there. He's still not good enough for you. And so that's why she's saying the vibrator part, because you're basically dumbing him down to that.
For him to be a trillionaire or fly me to London to go get dinner or something.
I mean, first you said millionaire, right? Just real millionaire, trillionaire. Just because you don't want the 1 out of 7 guys doesn't mean you're not asking for the 0.000000001%, dude.
I'm asking for him to be financially secure, respectful, honest, kind,
Well, no, you're
authentic,
asking for him to make
thoughtful.
you're asking for him to make over $300,000, which
That is okay. How many? There's a lot of people out there to make over 300.
Wow. You don't know any of these people, woman. You don't know any of these men who you claim that exist like
$1,000, Kendra. Lots of them.
I mean, listen, I
Kendra would know better than you do.
live in a world where that is true. I mean, but I will say a lot of the men that do make that amount of money and more. Well, you already did mention you don't have to be the only woman. You say you're just gonna feel like the most important woman. So you're open to him having other women.
Like I said, as long as I feel like the most important woman in his life, as long as I feel like the most important person.
But you can't possibly be with this attitude, this list of shit, this criteria. If this dude exists, if he really exists, he can have any woman he wants, and almost every woman he wants. You got a 10 head. I'm gonna call it. You got a 10 head. What are you bringing to the table that's gonna make him be any of the things that you're saying to you for any long term, anything other than an evening?
Clearly,
if he can.
No, I'm asking this question clearly. Could he have other sexual partners as he's dating you or being with you?
I'm going to say no.
How does that make any sense? What are you talking about right now? Your math is not mathing, woman.
Because I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know it exists. I need to feel like I'm the most important person in his life.
So you want to be in
I do know that most guys,
So you'll be okay with being in a relationship delusional? Like you'll be okay with being with a man?
Well, it's not delusional.
It is delusional because you're saying you don't want to know the truth. You're saying as long as I don't know about it, it's okay. That's what you're telling me. Because I'm asking you the question clearly, and you said you got to feel like the most important person. So It's kind of contradicting. So like you're saying, as long as I don't know about it.
I'm saying if he's good enough to make me feel like it.
She just doesn't want to come out and say it because she knows it's nasty. She knows it's giving trifling energy, right? She knows that if she finds this dude 300K, 30 some odd attributes, right? None of the negatives, no kids, okay? All these things. So she may live in a land of delusion that she could actually achieve this, but she's not stupid enough to know that if she got it, she would be the only one.
If he's sneaky enough to have his little side piece and he's still making me feel like I'm the most.
He doesn't have to be sneaky. He just don't answer the phone on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and and Saturdays. You're a Monday and a Friday chick.
Most important person in the world, and I never see him texting anybody or calling it.
None of this, to be clear, like if he's hitting all of these attributes, it doesn't matter if he's texting or calling you. You're not going to say one word. You're going to be sitting there drinking your $150 glass of whatever, and you're going to be eating your $300 a plate whatever, and you're going to be smiling, and presumably you won't say much at the end of this dinner table because you've got a unicorn. You got a unicorn. Santa Claus shows up with a big old sack of gifts. You're not going to kick him in the sack, right?
Anybody, if he's that sneaky, heck yeah, have your side chick. If you can do that, then do it.
Why would a guy be lucky to be with you, Ella?
Because I'm traditional, I'm loyal, I'm playful, I'm a great cook, I clean, I take care of my man, I'm honest, I am adaptable, I am thoughtful, and I'm nurturing.
Who thinks any of that is true? just listening to this woman, how could it possibly adaptable? You can't adapt to your own circumstances right now, sweetie. Never mind anybody else's situation. Like, you, adapting means negotiating. That's plain and simple. Adapting means negotiating. And you can't do that. The cap is strong with this one.
Okay. This is Ella, Seattle, Washington. He doesn't have to be in Seattle, Washington, right?
No,
Okay. You said you're open to all races, correct?
correct.
All right. She's a blogger. She won't share the blog with us. She has children. I'm assuming you're done with that, or do you want more kids?
I do not want more kids.
Oh, and at the very end, and you're giving him nothing. Nothing. He can't show up with kids, and he can't ask you for none. Essentially worthless. From a relationship standpoint, if the man is coming with all of these things, unless he already has his own kids and they have moved out, which is what you said, unless it's that, then you don't. Man.
Okay. Strong 300K or more policy, correct?
Correct.
All right. And all right, let's do it, Ella. This is Ella. How do you want the guy to reach out to you?
I'm not even going to promote this, bimbo. I'm sorry, honey. I know you got plenty of dudes in your DMs already, and so that's fine. You don't need any more clout off of that nonsense. Hey, guys, this is the Ill Bill. Obviously, we hit y'all again with some ill behavior. Ah, man, thanks for kicking it with me on this one. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.